All right, so cool. So at the end of it, how about you guys want to go through like a goals workshop? I'll just put you through a goals workshop. This is the number one thing, like, because if you can figure out and the goals are cool because what you can do is, like, first you got to figure out the why. Like, why in the hell do I want this in the first place? And then after you figure out the why, if the why is big enough, then you can figure out the how. That's the easy part. A lot of people get freaked out about the how because they're just like, they don't have a big enough why. Like, for my why was I'm getting the hell out of Eastern Kentucky. I'm not being a poor hick from Kentucky my entire life. Although I definitely still have the language and the accent. The analogy that I always use is, just because I talk slow does not mean I'm stupid. Okay? So what we'll do is, let's go through at the end of it, let's go through a goal setting workshop, and we'll do that. And I'll put you through a thing where you can actually write down your goals, and then I'll show you some things that you need to do on a daily basis. And then once you've got them, then you just have to be willing to pay the price of your goals. And that's another thing. You just have to figure out, like, okay, am I willing to pay the price in order to get what I need? For me, Rob and John, all three of us, our families suffer from it. Now, I know what you're saying, like, boo-hoo, you guys are crying all the way to the bank. Yes, we make lots of money. Yes, it's a cash flow business. Both the trading and the trading education business. And yes, the other dozen or so businesses that we all own, they all pretty much make money. But our family lives and relationships with our family and our friends suffer from it just because we work so much. But that's just kind of how we're wired up. It's kind of what we're into. So it's just the thing that we kind of deal with. Yeah. So, all right. So the next session, what I want to do is, now, since I've got my Oprah moment out of the way, and I had a good cry and had to figure out the coach. God, what is his name? Coach. I'm trying to figure out. See, I'm so scarred from it, I can't remember his name. We've got that out of the way. We've got the personal, yeah. We've got that out of the way. The next thing I want to do is, I want to kind of help you figure out if there's, like, maybe the top 3 or 5 issues, and then I'm going to give you what I would do is if I was in that situation. All right. So give me some stuff that you're kind of working through, you're struggling with, you kind of want to confront and move on. What are some of the issues trading wise that I can help you with? I've got a big bag of tricks, a good toolbox that I can help you with. Trouble pulling the trigger. Pulling trigger after a drawdown, okay? Afraid to make a loss. Impulse control, okay? Let me get a piece of paper here, and I'll write these down, and we'll actually go through some of these. Too involved in a tick-by-tick movement. All right, so pulling trigger. Fear of loss. Okay. Drawdown. Let's see. Managing train. Fear of losing capital. All right, fear of loss. Lack of confidence. Getting out of the trade. Manage trade. Realistic goals of trade. Strong sense that every trade will fail as soon as I enter. Okay, that's a good one. That's usually a one where you're just taking death by 1,000 cuts. Not letting, that's a good one. All right, let's do 2. Not letting winners run. So here's a sucky thing, right? It's like a vicious circle. Like, let's say that you're in a trade setup and overall you're profitable, but then the self-confidence starts waning because you've got all these little small losses. Small loss, small loss, small loss, small loss. And you turn around, you're sitting there, you're going, man, 25% of my account is gone. I need to make that 25% back. And now let's just keep the numbers simple. $100,000, you've lost $25,000. In order to get back to even, you got to make $25,000. If you want a 25% return, then you got to make, $50,000, which would be 100%, right? Almost on your money. So how do you deal with that? Because now every single trade that you're going to get into, as soon as you get into it, you're going to be thinking, oh God, get out, you got to profit, right? and then you jump out at a small profit, and then the thing ends up running forever. And you're sitting there going, oh my God, why did I jump out? Why was I such a wuss? So there's usually 3 things that you can do to kind of change what's going on. All right. So the first thing you want to change is you want to change your physiology, and some of the stuff that I'm going to start going through with you is just some basic NLP stuff, neuro-linguistic programming. So if you want to change anything, first thing you got to do is change your body. So when you're getting your butt kicked, all right, and I'll take an analogy from all the fights I had to get in. Heads up, if you're in a fight, the other dude is just as afraid of you as you are of him. A lot of the fights that I was in high school, my knees would be shaking, and I'd be going, oh my God, I wonder if they can see my knees shaking. Which, heads up, they were just as nervous as I was, unless I was fighting either 1, 2, or 3 dudes at the same time, which I don't know if you ever watch the movies in Hollywood. That never ends well. You can't fight more than one person very well. If it's 2-on-1, you're probably going to lose, just heads up. Same thing, if you're trading more than one market, and you're not already profitable in one market, you're probably going to get your butt kicked. All right. So what you have to do is, unless your uncle is Bruce Lee. So the first thing is change your body. When you're going through losses and you're taking a drawdown, and every time, write down, for the love of God, everybody keep a journal in here. If you don't keep a journal in here, you're never going to get anywhere, because your subconscious will lie to you. It will go, well, you didn't do that. That wasn't your fault. And it's not because it's your fault. It's just you don't have an accurate record of what's going on. So you want to keep a journal. All right. And some of my best stuff that I learned is from journals that I've been keeping for the past 15 years. All right. And I'll go back and be like, oh, that's a really cool insight. I should apply that to today's stuff. So get you a journal. They can be, moleskin. They could be just the mead, just a bound notebook. All right. And just start keeping it. And just write down your daily thoughts every day. What did you learn? What did you do good? What did you do bad? Now, as far as trading goes, you want to keep a trading journal separate from your overall journal. All right. Like you're going to have a life journal and a trading journal. This is just your record book of what's going on. It's kind of like your P&L ledger. So when you're going through drawdowns, when you're sitting at your desk, what's your body like? Do you have perfect posture? Let's go through what does the posture of a losing trader going through a drawdown? In other words, he would probably be depressed, right? What does that look like? Is he standing straight up? So just type into me, is his shoulders back, or is he crouched down? He's hunched over. Okay, so I'm seeing hunched over here, slumped over. All right. Is he smiling? Good posture? Head back, shoulders back? Up straight? He's not the picture of confidence, right? He's the picture of depression, all right? Now, here's the key thing, like, hands covering his face, angry, a cold sweat, maybe the hands in the hair, pulling at his hair, beaten down. He's the picture of somebody that's had the hell beat out of him, right? Heart pounding, kind of like a person that has hypertensive disorder where he's so overwhelmed with all the decisions that he makes, he can't make anything, right? Like a deer in the headlights, right? How do you guys know all those things that you just listed off, bent over, slumped, no, dropped, sat down, slouching in the chair, wearing underwear, hair a mess, been up all night long, hasn't showered? You've been there and you've done that, all right? So this is one of those things where you hear in a lot of the self-help, like, fake it till you make it. Now, fake it till you make it does not mean fake that you have $1 million and just go out and rack up a lot of debt. What fake it till you make it means is act as if you were already successful. All right. So if you were a super confident and just a trading machine, what would your posture be like? What would your breathing be like? What would the questions that you'd be asking be like? So let's go through, like, if you're a super confident, so on your next trade setup, and this is going to go through pulling the trigger, fear of loss, drawdowns, not letting the winner ride. Let's go through a checklist, another great book, Checklist Manifesto. I don't know who the author is, but it's a real good book, Checklist Manifesto. It's got to do with ER doctors and heart surgeons and stuff having a checklist to make sure that they don't leave instruments in people. All right. And there you go. Just do checklist manifesto. Here is the author. Yeah, checklist work. Exactly. Right. All right. So what you want to do is we're going to make a checklist for being confident, for being a successful, confident trader. All right. Let's go through it together. What would be some of those things? Would you have good posture at your desk? For me, the trick that helps me, stand at the desk. Stand at the desk. Don't sit. If you sit, you'll lean back or you'll slump forward, and both of those postures suck. So like right now, as I'm talking to you, I'm standing. Another great way is I have a treadmill right to my right that if I want to walk while I'm talking to you, I can. And I can go up to 4 miles an hour. My body is moving. I'm thinking better. I'm going to make a better decision on all my trading and my business decisions. What about a nice chair? Herman Miller. I love the Herman Miller Aeron chairs. They're great. Exercise ball, any of that stuff. If you don't have a chair, a desk that you can stand at, you can buy one or you can elevate it. Just spin when you first go from a chair to standing, and I do both. Some of the stuff I kind of have to sit at, right? But a lot of the stuff that I do, I kind of like standing. So it puts me in a better frame of mind, all right? You don't have to, but at least, for God, at least set up straight and keep a good posture. Now, if you're a confident trader, are your shoulders back, slack, and rolled over? You want to keep good posture. Now, how is your breathing? Is it shallow or nice and deep and full? Okay? Now, one of the things about being a strategic trader versus a tactical trader is if you're going to trade strategically, you're going to make a lot more money than if you trade tactically. So we're talking about being a confident, strategic trader. Now, what do you think? Do you need to be leaned into the monitor or slightly leaned back and overall just taking it in, looking for your trade setup, waiting for it to come to you, and then pulling the trigger? All right? You need to be relaxed. All right? All right. So now, the second thing, after you figure out what your checklist is for your physiology, and all physiology is like, there was a study that they did, I think it was a UCLA, of people that were clinically depressed. And what they did is like, instead of feeding them Prozac, let's just make them stand in front of a mirror and smile for 20 minutes from ear to ear so that, they just had to smile for 20 minutes. And there was even, one of the ladies that claimed that she was even depressed in her sleep, which is kind of impossible to do. But so her physiology changed her emotion. So first you have to change your emotion. And how you change your emotion is you change your physiology. So, that's how, I'm moving around a little bit. Like now I'm not crying like a little girl, got out of the chair, stood up, and I'm getting excited about talking about teaching you how to change how you perceive things so that you can act confident and take really good trades. So you need to make a checklist of the physiology of what you want. Some good stuff. If I'm in a tomb here in the back cave does not have windows. So I'm in the process of getting, light therapy in here so I don't have the seasonal disorder stuff going on and the depression, stuff like that. So let's go through. Let's make a list. We're going to make sure that you might want to put a mirror next to your desk to make sure you're smiling as opposed to frowning, going, clenched up. You might want to make sure that you check that you're breathing correctly, right? Like good breaths in, good breaths out. Don't sit here and look at these monitors all day long with no breaks. Focus for 50 minutes, take a 10-minute break, get up, walk around, go outside, come back. If you miss a trade in 10 minutes, it's not going to kill you. There's another move right around the corner, all right? Move around, be active. So what you want to do is take a few minutes and actively write down what that looks like. What does a confident trader look like at his desk? And you want to make sure you're going through your checklist. The second thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to ask yourself a better set of questions. Like right now, I guarantee you these are some of, tell me what are some of the consistent emotions that you're experiencing on a day-by-day and a week-by-week basis in your trading? Fear, right? When we're talking about fear of loss, drawdowns, not being able to pull the trigger. When you're doing that, what questions are you asking yourselves? what thoughts are you kind of programming yourself with? Are you asking yourself like, man, why do I suck so bad? Why can I never make any money? Why can I never pick the right trade? Why do I always jump out too soon? Oh my God, when I lose this money, what are my kids going to do? If I lose all this money, what will my wife think? Oh my God, I should have never taken that trade. You know, what are some of the questions that are feeding that fear? And you know you're doing them. Just what are they? List them off. Nobody can see them except me. You're thinking worst case scenarios. So if you're asking yourself like, oh man, why do I suck so bad? Why do I always lose money? Oh, why can't I figure this out? How come everybody else in the trading room is making money and I'm not? How come Rob makes money and I can't? Right? So here's what your brain does. Anytime you say, what if, your brain says, well, it's because this, Einstein. So if you go, why do I always lose money? Your brain goes, because you suck, because you don't know how to trade, because you chase trades, because you have no money management, because you really don't have a plan, because you're crazy. Because every time you touch a dollar, you spend $5, right? Your brain will start coming up, with the answers to the questions that you're asking. So you have to ask yourself, what? Yeah, because you're a loser, So the second thing you want to do is you want to ask yourself a better quality of question. Okay? Better quality question and be like, how can I be more profitable? How can I be more disciplined? Or you can say, why am I such a profitable trader? It works. Your brain, believe it or not, thinks in the present tense. So right now I'm trying to get back in a health kick. So these would be some of the things that are not trading related, but if you relate them to health, like here's the things like I'm going to relate the health kick that I'm trying to jump onto, base it around trading. Okay. So if I go, why are you such a fat ass? What's my mind going to say? Because you eat too much. Because you don't move enough. Because you work too much, right? All right. Now, so what I want to change that to is let's say you weighed 200 pounds and you wanted to weigh 150 and you're like, man, why do I weigh 200 pounds? Because you like Twinkies. Right? So the question that I got to shift, like if you want to go from 200 to 150, like, why am I so healthy? Why do I weigh 150 pounds type stuff, right? So you want to change it in your trading, switch it on its head and ask yourself a better quality of question. And then you can do some incantations, which are just your way of programming yourself into doing the exact same thing that you want to do. So let's come up as a group collectively. What are some of the questions that you want to consistently ask yourself? You need to put them on a 3x5 card and put them next to your monitor. Because your brain, a lot of people think that you have unlimited amount of willpower. You only have a finite amount of willpower every day. And it's usually the strongest the first hour to 2 hours in the day, and then it falls off the cliff after that. So what you want to do is you want to have a habit and a ritual for setting yourself up for success first thing in the morning. Okay? Now, I know what you're going to say is, oh my God, Hubert, I'm not a morning person. I'm not either. I'll sleep in, right? I don't even get moving until, midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. So, but the first thing in the morning, what you want to do is you want to have a success ritual. Okay? And a successful ritual is you're going to want to move around confidently and you're going to want to ask yourself good questions. So what do you think that I ask myself, John asks himself, and Rob asks himself? What kind of questions do you think we think about on a daily basis? Making money. The first thing I do before my feet even hit the ground is I do this little thing. And it's kind of weird and it's kind of hooky. And the first thing I do is I go, all right, how can I serve my family today? And for me, serving my family is making so much money that I can pass it on from generation to generation to generation. So I go, how can I serve my family today? And then the second thing I do, even before my feet hit the ground out of the bed, I go, that's funny, Ray. How can we come up with another indicator? That's funny. The second thing I go is there's money with my name on it out there. Let's go get my money. All right. How can I help and serve my family? There's money with my name on it out there. Let's go get my money. I'm not asking for permission. I'm not hoping somebody sends me money. I'm not hoping that the market works in my favor. There's money with my name on it out there. I'm going to go get it, regardless of what anybody else thinks about it. So I'm always thinking about, like, how can I make more money? First thing I think of is, like, risk. And then I start going, after I go, how can I serve my family? There's money with my name on it out there. Let's go get it. Now, in trading, we have to think about the risks, where in other businesses, you don't have to think about the risk as much. So the first thing in trading is your mental capital is the best capital you have, followed up by your capital. So we obviously have to still think about the overall risk of the situation. So even though I'm thinking about worst case, I'm always thinking best case too. So let's say that we were going to do a gold trade and we think it's going to go to 1,500 and it's trading right now at 1491, right? Because it's right here. If we're in this trade and we go, okay, what's the worst case thing that can happen? Well, I could lose 6 points. Okay, cool. I got that. And then I go, okay, or I could make, 8 points. All right. That's a decent risk to reward ratio. I'll take that. You still want to track your success ratio. So here's some good questions that you can ask yourself. How can I develop up a better trading plan? All right. Why am I so successful? How can I take better trades? How can I set in trades longer? Okay. So those are current questions. Like you're asking yourself, like, what one thing, if I'd done in an excellent fashion, would make the biggest impact in my trading? And then what you want to do is you want to come up with 10 answers to that question and then pick out the top 3 and start implementing those. Yeah, why do I see patterns and trends so clearly? It's a really good one. Yeah, Bob, that's a really good. Bob's saying, first job out of college, and one of his colleagues said the first thing that he was doing selling mutual funds is he smiled while he's on the phone all day long because people could hear it. So, yeah, that's a really good. So, repeat the last night. So, let's say, so this is a portion of the goal setting thing. If you could do one thing in an excellent fashion that would give you the biggest impact in your trading, what would it be? If you could do one thing that would make the biggest impact, if you could do one thing excellent, like if you could do one thing really, really, really well in an excellent fashion that would give you the biggest impact in your trading, what would that be? And then take time and give yourself 10 answers to that question or 20 answers to that question and brainstorm those 10 or 20 answers up. Then from those 10 or 20, so if you come up with what was the one thing, so somebody's going, if I just follow my rules. Okay. All right. So just follow my rules. Discipline, just follow my rules. So all right. So that's the one thing, if you did excellent, would make the biggest impact on your trading. So what are 10 actions or things that you can put in place that would make that happen? I would have a checklist. I would have a developed business plan. I would have a trading accountability partner. I would have a mastermind. I would get counsel from people that were really, really disciplined. I would pull the trigger when I have a setup. I would use stops. I would let my profit run. And then once you've got answers, so that you got, all right, if the best thing that I could do that would, if I did in an excellent fashion, that would make the biggest impact on my trading would be following my plan. Then you write down 10 action steps to do that, and then you pick 1, 2, and 3 out of that priority, and you start instituting those. All right. All right. So we got to make sure that our physiology is correct. We're going to hold our body in a confident fashion if we're a confident trader. Number 2, we want to ask ourselves really, really good questions. All right. Quit asking yourself stupid questions. If you ask yourself a stupid question, you're going to get a stupid answer. Why do I suck so bad? Because you're a loser. Why can I never trade? Why do I always pick the worst trades? Is that really true? Do you only pick losers, or do you pick winning trades and then you wuss out on them? Okay. Why can I never hold runners? Have you never held a runner? I'm sure you had a runner at one point in time. If you did it once, you can do it again. So better quality question. So your physiology, how you hold your body. The second thing is the questions that you are asking yourself. Okay. The third one's a little weird. It's an incantation. Incantation is every day in every way I'm getting happier and happier. Every day in every way I'm getting profitable and profitable. Every day in every way I'm getting more and more disciplined, right? You want to do some of that stuff. It's kind of the same thing like if you ever get a song in your head and you can never get it out. While you're doing it, like I said, this goes back to a lot of people thinking that you have more control than you think over your head. You really don't. So that you only have so much discipline in the first hour or 2 hours of the day, and then after that, it drops off the cliff. So what you got to do is you got to have a set of rules in place that you do these things in the first hour or two in the day, which then will lead on to success. All right. So come up with some incantations that you're always telling yourself. All right. Now, also, last but not least, most fear comes from lack of gratitude. So if you're fearful, it's probably a lack of gratitude. All right. Sir John Templeton is one of the best investment guys out there. Used to be. He's no longer alive. One of his main things was gratitude. All right. So if you're fearful of something, it's probably just because you have a lack of gratitude of some magnitude. All right. So what's something else that you can be grateful for? And the way I do it, I start out with my family and then my friends and then business associates. And then I start thinking about what else could I be grateful for and give back. So now we have fire alarms going off here. So what could you be grateful for? Let me jerk this thing out of the wall. I'll be grateful that my fire alarms are working correctly. All right, so what could you be grateful for? One thing you should be grateful for is, you got a really good role model in the form of Rob. He's had one hell of a run, right? So you should be grateful, though, even though you're not profitable yet. What could you be grateful for in your trading? Your good health. The opportunity to learn from professionals. What else? So list off some of the stuff that you're grateful for. Your health, your family. You live in a free country where you can even have the ability to make unlimited income if you can just figure out how. Grateful for the technology that allows you to trade, the ability to trade. All right. So the more and more grateful you are, the less fear that you will actually have. So for me, I know that if I lost every dime I had today, you plop me down in a strange city, I know I could make it back and probably make it back quicker and faster. I'm grateful that I've had the experience of getting beat down in my life, that I know I can handle pretty much anything that's thrown at me. You can beat me down, I'll just get back up. You can beat me down again, I'll just get back up. Beat me down again, I'll get back up. I'm grateful for that, even though I cry like a little girl every time I tell the story. All right? I'm still grateful. I had to go, in order to get from here to there, I had to go through that. All right? So here's another question. So, the right to earn unlimited is one thing. Having the right to keep it now being questioned. You're just gonna have to kind of work through that. That's an issue of you're not giving yourself the permission to actually be happy about it. All right, so that's the things that I would do faced up around the trading psychology side. So we had a little bit of the personal story there. We had an Oprah moment. That was all fun. I got to cry like a little girl in front of, lots of people. That's great. We figured out that we need to change our physiology, our body, the way we're holding our body. We need to start asking ourselves better questions so that we get better answers. Most of the things that we know already are in our head. We could just figure out on our own. And then we need to give ourselves some little affirmations and let our mind work. So hey Rob, who's up next? Do we know? Because I want to kind of walk them through a quick a goal setting workshop. I don't know at the time. We could probably go.
Yeah, hey there, Hubert. Basically, hold on one second, let me turn this down. Okay, Doc's supposed to come on in about, according to Priyanka, here in just a few minutes, actually, about 10 minutes or so. Okay. I have not seen Doc log in yet, though, Hubert, but he is supposed to be up here in about 10 minutes.
All right, just when he comes in, cue me, will you? All right, I'm going to go until Rob tells me Doc's in here, okay? So let's do a quick goal setting workshop, all right? So the first thing, all right, so goals. Goal setting is the master skill of success. The more you use and set goals, the better off you're going to be. Only 3% of American adults have goals and look at them every single day. Heads up, the 3% of us that use goals on a daily basis and look at them every day, we make 97% of the income in America. The other 97% of you that are not using goals, we're taking money from you because you're not using goals. Does that make sense? All right. You have to act, and this is something that you want to do, is you want to set a major goal and work towards obtaining it every single day. All right. So let's get serious about this. You have to know exactly what you want. So whip out a piece of paper, write down exactly what you want. Okay. And then you have to be willing, you must determine the price that you have to pay to achieve that. All right. So number one, we want to make sure that we're going in the opposites, just like trading. 95% of the people that trade don't make any money. We want to be in the 5%. 97% of the people don't set and look at their goals every day. We want to make sure that we do that. We want to know exactly what we want. All right. I'll use the example. I want to be a profitable trader and making at least $1 million a year. Am I willing to, and now you have to determine the price that you have to pay in order to achieve that. Are you clear on the price that you have to pay in order to do that, and are you willing to pay it? All right. Now, you have to be absolutely clear on your goals. They can't be wishy-washy. Like, you don't want to be like, okay, I want to be a profitable trader. I want to make $1 million. $1 million is just a foo-foo dream. Really? I mean, here's what I do. Every trade setup that I have, or every business, I go, okay, let's say I had a car payment. And let's say the car payment was $1,000 a month. I would figure out some source of income, either coming from a business or a trading setup that generated me $1,000, and I'd never have to worry about that bill again. Well, let's say that my heating and electric bill was $400. Then I develop up a business or a trading plan, a trade setup that generates me $400 a month. I no longer have to deal with that again. So what you do is you take multiple streams of incomes from your trading or from your other businesses and replace every cost that you have, so then you never have to worry about anything else again. All right. So let's start on the goal setting workshop. What we're going to do is we're going to go through one exercise. It shouldn't take too long. All right. Let's see here. I've got some here that I've done that should help you. Let me find ones that are really good. All right, this is the one I do on a daily basis, so I'm going to walk you through the exact same one that I do on a daily basis. All right. I've got it. You first want to list your goals, breaking down in a 10-year, 5-year, 10-year, 5-year, 3-year, 2-year, 1 year. And then you want to have monthly, weekly, and then daily activities that you're trying to do that. So you're going to go 10-year, 5-year, 3-year, 2-year, 1 year, and then break them down to monthly and weekly objectives, and then daily activities. All right. Daily goal planning exercise. And I have these all across the boards in all different aspects. So the first thing, daily planning, this is exercise you're going to do every day. Goal planning exercise. Write down your 3 most important goals right now. Write down your 3 most important goals. and you need to write them down very detailed and clear. All right. Let's say you had a goal in order to have $1 million house that had so many square foot, so many rooms so what you would do is you would actually go out and start looking at that stuff, and you would have, I rewrite them every single day. Yes. I do this exercise every single day, but you guys are starting from square one. So we're doing it both at the same time. So daily goal planning exercise, write down your 3 most important goals, and they want to be crystal clear and detailed and as crystal clear as you want. So it'd be like if you were going to pick out a car. Let's say you were going to pick out a Porsche 911, black with gray interior. How much would it cost? When would you have that goal? Well, what I do is I review my 10-year, my 5-year, 3-year, 2-year, 1 year, and then I do this daily exercise to just make sure the 3 most important goals to me right now that I'm working on. So I may have a goal to, make $20 million a year. That's my 10-year goal. And my 5-year goal would be like, all right, I want to make, $4 million a year. And then my 1-year goal may be to make $1 million a year. You see what I'm saying? But so my daily planning, my 3 most important goals would be like, I want to make 7 to 12% in my trading accounts on a month by month basis. I want to make sure that I'm making at least $400,000 to $600,000 a year in the trading account, and at least which an upside objective of $1 to $2 million. And I'm going to do that by trading this, that, and the other thing. Second thing is I want to increase my net worth for so and so, and I want to increase that by doing this, that, and other thing. And then third goal is health. I want to get back in shape and get back, try to get back to fighting weight, right? Back to the early college or late high school, all right, type of fitness level, all right? Yeah, you can do non-financial goals, but I'm just trying to keep this to financials just because we're all traders, we're money motivated. You can do it with anything. You can do family goals. I want to spend more time with my family. I want to make sure that I'm taking 2 to 4 vacations a week with my family, spending the weekends with them, not working so much, The key is on goals, be very detailed. Now, here's the key. A goal is a dream unless you put a deadline on it. So if I want to drop 20 pounds in 3 months, I can't just say, well, I'd like to drop 20 pounds. I'm going to drop 20 pounds. Are you? Really? You little girl? By when? Oh, in 3 months, I'm dropping 20 pounds, right? Now, there's a little bit of counterintuitive science behind. Some people think that you should actually tell people what you're trying to do, and then some studies say that you shouldn't tell people what you're trying to do. I think from an accountability standpoint, it helps. So for me, it'd be like, hey, I'm going to, on the trading video, I'd be like, look, my goal is to lose 20 pounds in the next 3 months. And then I'm accountable because then I'm going to have 70,000 people wearing me out about it, right? It just helps, all right? Some people think you keep it in. Yeah, I think it depends on who you tell. I totally agree. All right, so after you got your 3 most important goals down, very specific with a deadline, it's a dream unless you have a deadline on it, okay? Then what you're going to do is daily goal setting exercise. What is your major definitive purpose? What do you put on the world to do, right? What's your purpose? Why do you want this, all right? And list those. Now, what you also have to do from there is after you set a deadline from completion, you're going to have to ask yourself, what are the obstacles and limitations that are going to stand between you and your goal? In other words, what are your constraints? So let's say that your constraint, my goal is I want to write a book in the next 2 years. I know it's not going to happen this year because I got too much stuff going on. My daily constraint right now is I actually need to write 750 words a day. In other words, 2 to 4 pages. My daily constraint is I just don't have the time right now. So my constraint on writing a book over the next 2 years is my ability to manage my time better. So I would be the constraint. Well, let's say if you were in the business if you were Apple and you're creating iPods and iPads, your constraint right now is Japan just had an earthquake. You have supply constraints. That's your constraint. That's what's holding you back. It's not that you can't sell more. It's just a lot of your stuff gets from China and Japan, and you got issues with that. So that's your constraint. What is the best book about setting goals? Some real good goal setting books would be Think and Grow Rich. Some of the stuff that Brian Tracy puts out, the Ultimate Goal Program, that's a good one. I'm actually reading some of the stuff from his books right now as we're going through it. All right, so now after you got that, after you've written that down, you're going to write down plans in longhand. Make sure you use a pencil and a paper. It burns it in your brain better than typing on a word processor. In the present sense, so you want to say like, I weigh 176 pounds by May the 28th, 2011. Does that make sense? You write it in the present tense in your own handwriting as if it already happened. You're basically lying to yourself, but your brain is so wired, jacked up, if you lie to yourself enough, your brain will start to believe it, and then it'll start taking actions on it. Now, you have to do it with good emotion, and you have to ask yourself good questions. You have to anchor it. You can't just go, I weigh 176 pounds by May the 28th. Your brain's going to go, bullshit. No, you don't. So you have to be really congruent and grounded, and you have to really believe in it. You also have to be taking action, too, in order for it to happen. So you're going to go your top 3 list, your top 3 goals that you're trying to hit with a deadline. Why do you want these things? All right. Each one of them. Then you're going to write down your plans in longhand using the present tense. I am currently rowing 2,000 meters and doing 75 kettlebell swings a day. I run 5K by May the 28th, 2011. So you write down as much stuff as you can in the current present tense. Then you're going to take a look at what's your major problem or goal, like what's your constraints, what's going to hold you back. And then once you find what your major constraints or goals are, like, and your major constraints is, I'm not making money because I'm not following my plan. Then how, for the love of God, are we going to get you to follow your plan? Well, we're going to act more like a professional trader. We're going to ask ourselves good questions. We're going to do some incantations, and we're going to get some other technology to reprogram our brain so that after we've designed up a good trading plan, we'll physically take it. Okay? Some of your constraints are, you have nobody else that you're actually accountable to. You're going to get a trading partner. You're going to call them every day and talk about what happened in the market. Oh, Steve, thanks. I'll get that book. Thank you. I assume that your goals must be measured so that you can track the progress. They definitely have to be trackable. That's what you're using this daily, weekly, and monthly thing, is to keep you on task. All right, to keep you on task. The other thing is you want to make some kind of mastermind. All right, to where you get anywhere from 4 or 5 people together on a weekly or monthly basis. And the biggest masterminds I'm involved with, I think, have 20 people at a time in them. Sometimes we have a little bit more, but that's usually about the max. And you guys may not know that, but in Chicago, we're going to launch our first little mastermind for traders program out of Chicago. Did you ever remember the Think and Grow Rich book version of the author? I know it wasn't Napoleon Hill. Hold on, that book is right over my, it's right here in my library. Let me look for it. All right, so the version of it is by Napoleon Hill. It's just a different, because it's in the public domain. Amazon Think and Grow Rich. I'll give you the exact version. I think it's the best. I've got almost every version that they put out. So Think and Grow Rich. And then, I have a gift for you. Let me give you this gift. I'm going to send you right now in the chat box one of Brian Tracy's. It's an expert. It's one of the workbooks from the Ultimate Goal Planning Guide. And as opposed to me just killing your time, how about I give you that? Now, obviously, if you like it, I highly recommend that you go buy his program. So, can you guys see that? Henry uploaded it for me. Let me go right here. There, you guys see that? Let me know if you can see it. It's box.net. Go through that exercise. That's going to help you out immensely. Now, I forget how much I paid for the program, but I've probably got close to 400,000 self-help, marketing courses, business success, life success courses. This is just one of the workbooks out of one of the programs that I go through. Try that. I think it'll add a lot of value to your life, especially if you go through and do it. It's not huge. It's not a big thing. The thing is, the process, you just want to make sure you do it and go through it. I'm trying to find the Think and Grow Rich book. I want the original version restored and revised. Nope. I, for whatever reason, cannot find it. I've got it in my hand right now. This one just relates it to more current times. I'll link to it. You guys want the video of audio one too? You guys want the video of the Diane Sawyer thing from my high school? It'll scare you. All right, I'll send it to you. I'll find it before it's done. I'll send it to you. Link to Brian Tracy. Do you guys want his course too? The link to it? I probably just got that from Nightingale Conant. All right, hold on. Brian, I think just Brian Tracy's goals. Okay. I don't want to hear you, Brian. Hello. Let me get his. Where's goals at? Let me do this. While everybody else is talking, I'm going to give you the links to this stuff. And I will come back at the end when John's in here.
Hey there, Hubert.
I'll give you the links.
Hubert, just a quick moment there. I'm on the phone with Doc Kleberg. We're working on getting him in. Also, for everybody, and I want to thank you, Hubert, for such a passionate presentation this morning, but Doc Kleberg's in the process of getting loaded in here. Also had some really good news about some of the dome updates and issues, but I'll share that with everybody tomorrow morning. Some neat stuff happening there. So I see we have a nice large group in here, so I got some real good news for you tomorrow morning about the dome stuff that's been going on. And with that being said, like I said, we're just waiting for Doc to make it in here. He's trying right now, so hopefully we'll be up and running here momentarily.
Thank you, Rob. All right, so there's the Ultimate Goals program. I just pushed it to you. That's one of Brian Tracy's things. His awesome program, he's got the Psychology of Achievement and the New Psychology of Achievement. Those are also really good, too. But there's the link to his course right there, the Ultimate Goals program that you guys will like. The ISBN number, that's a really good number. All right, so I'll read this ISBN number off. Someone input it because you guys are going to type better than I will, and we'll find this Amazon book here. And then somebody send me the link. Aha, here we go, ISBN number. Great way to find a book. ISBN number is, hold on. It is ISBN. It is 1-59330-200-2. Nope, that don't work. Let me see here. Yeah, I don't know why it's not working. Could you put the links on the trading tools section of TTM? Okay. Oh, thanks, Thomas. Yeah, hopefully I didn't freak too many of you up. Let me, I will look up the book. It's a weird book, and I'll find it on Amazon. How did I copy? I don't know how to copy all those links and get it on my web browser. Hold on. Let me try this. Yeah, hopefully I didn't freak too many of you out crying like a little girl. The one that I posted on box.net for the goals should help you out, on the box.net. Let me give you that link one more time. There you go. There's that link. And then I'm trying to, maybe this is it. Come on, Amazon, hook me up. I'll buy enough stuff from you to kill somebody. Aha, that is the link right there. All right. Here's the version of Think and Grow Rich that I think is most applicable to today's life. And send to all. There you go. Here's the link. There you go. So I'm going to open it up to questions. Hubert, this was great. Thank you so much. If one of your goals today was to help improve the life of someone else, then consider it done. Thank you. Oh, thank you very much, Paul. We've already seen you in a thong and bunny slippers. Why worry about tearing up? That's funny. Copyright date for Think and Grow Rich. I think, I don't remember what it is, but I know it's in the public domain now. It's so old. The interesting point that we need to make here is that we learned that we must work so hard to be wealthy, but the point you are making is that we need to work smart instead. The best revenge is living well. I agree. I mean, I'd never want to tell somebody or blow smoke up their rear end to tell you there's some big easy button cash. I've never found something out like that other than trading or business and stuff like that. You still have to put in your time and the work. We should read Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. That's a good book. I've never read it, but I hear really good things from it. Could you make a PDF for goals and post them for us, please? Thank you. Bill, did you get the one? The one on box.net will be a better resource than anything that I can put together for you. It's one that Brian Tracy put together based upon the goals program that I actually go through myself. I'm going to send that to you right now. Your presence with us today has helped deeply impact me. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you, Joanne. Great stuff. Thanks for sharing. Is it safe to assume that you spend as much time on psychology and all these other programs as you do on trading methods and techniques? Yes, definitely, Dave. Yes.
I guess I'm unsure how I'm going to make these slides work here. How do I just share screen and so